It takes it down a notch for me, Sal, combined with everything else that's going on there for sure. Look, by itself, Fried could kind of replace him, I guess, but they got so many other things now with the injuries with Stanton, now with Heel, all this. So I had to lower my sights in terms of the Yankees even winning that division. And I think, Cole's a proven postseason performer as well. Fried's been there too, but Fried hasn't pitched in New York, and he's had issues with his forearm the last couple of years. So there's a lot of question marks about this team, but Cole's a guy, the way he finished that year in the World Series, obviously not covering first base, that killed him. But he did go back and finish that game, get deep into that game. It showed a lot of guts. I thought he was really turning into a kind of the guy who would meet the moment kind of a player.
Well, how do you think Max Fried is going to handle being the ace of the Yankees staff now?
Yeah, on my list of Yankees issues, Max Fried's ability to vault into that ace status for the Yankees is all the way down here. And I get it. Look, it's his first year in New York. He's this reserved, sort of quiet type of personality. I've seen this guy enough on the mound to know that when the game starts, this guy becomes an animal. You guys remember what complete games are? When the pitcher goes 9 innings without a reliever appearing, that kind of thing.
I don't.
He did that. Yeah. Harper, you may remember it. Not too many people do, but he did that twice. Nobody else in baseball did it more than Max Fried. So when it comes to that, when it comes to Max Fried becoming the ace of the Yankees, I have no worries about that. I have worries about a lot of other things when it comes to the Yankees, particularly their depth behind him, but not Max Fried.
He did have those little issues, though.
He did. But look, you signed that massive contract, what the expectations are for you. And I've just seen him enough times to just know what he brings to the table as a pitcher.
I would never invest big in a starting pitcher, just the way the game has evolved. It doesn't make any sense. But if there one that I was going to this offseason, it would have been Max Fried. Let's make the call to the bullpen and welcome in Britt Ghiroli. Britt, what should the Yankees do here to replace the innings that they're going to lose with Gerrit Cole and Luis Heel out?
Well, in a perfect world, guys, and if you listen to Yankees fans on Twitter, they make a blockbuster trade. That is just not feasible right now for so many reasons, starting with the fact that where we are on the calendar, every team has 0 wins, 0 losses. Every team has that spring training hope. You're just not going to see a whole lot of movement right now. You look at the starting pitching market in terms of what's out there. Kyle Gibson, probably the best remaining starter, but really it's been picked over, right? It's like a sale that's on its 3rd day. There is nothing left. Everybody has already decided they don't want what is out there. The Yankees are probably going to stay internal. And you look at the innings missed by Cole and Heel, assuming he misses a significant amount of time. We're talking about probably 325 innings around is what Fangraphs projects. So is that going to be made up by Will Warren and Clark Schmidt? Probably not, but this is what the Yankees have, and this is what they're going to have to run with. I think they're probably going to try to get into the season a month or two, see who's made available, see if they can get a Dylan Cease, or if another team just gets clobbered with injuries and decides that they're going to sell. The Miami Marlins are always open for business. As we saw last year, they made trades in May. So I think this isn't going to be it for the Yankees, but they're going to start with this group and then hope that they can make some adjustments, that they can make some additions as we get deeper into the season.
Man, that's what they should do. No need to panic now. It's still March here. Plenty of time to see where they're at and then address their needs come trade deadline or certainly in mid-season. All right, let's rank them. Ranking the top 6 teams in the American League after the rash of injuries for the Yankees. Essentially, give us your playoff field. Harp, you start us off.
Yeah, I think the AL is wide open now. I mean, we saw it last year. Not a lot of great teams, but I think there's a lot of improved teams. So I went here. I got the Red Sox winning the AL East, Rangers winning the AL West, Tigers winning the Central, and then Yankees is a wild card team. I think one of these years, Blue Jays are actually going to at least, if not overachieve, at least achieve. And I think I like their pitching. I did this mainly because I wanted to ignore Sal because Scherzer's gone there. I think he's going to have a comeback year. And the Royals look like they could be a team that are on the rise there. A lot of good young players. So that's I tell you, I think the Red Sox are going to surprise people. They got a lot of good young players. They got some good pitching over the offseason. So I think they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I felt that way before, that the Red Sox would be the Yankees' biggest threat in the American League. Certainly now, after the Yankees have been depleted here by injury. All right, well, what do you have for us?
Well, first, for me at least, when I look at this list, I have it here in my hand, top 6 in the American League. I'd rather rename that to top 6 teams with the most likely to have the pleasure to get swept by the Dodgers in the World Series. That's how I would rename this list. I'm okay with this group. I have the Rangers 1, Red Sox 2, Orioles, Astros. I have the Yankees 5, then the Royals. With the Yankees, I struggle with it because I feel like, are we being too hard on what they could have been versus what they are, because what they are, they're still in the mix there with those other 5 teams that I have. I don't think that they're that far off. I wouldn't have them outside my top 6, and I just wonder if we're being too harsh on them because of what they lost and not so much what they have right now. So that's my list. I don't feel that great. Like I said, I don't think any of these teams are going to push the Dodgers or the Mets even when it comes to the World Series. I'd go as far as far as that. So.
Well, they redid your list right there.
Thank you. That's the way it should be named. That's what it is. I just don't love any of these teams' chances. They're fine.
Yeah,
they're fine teams, but I don't like them that much.
I get it. It's interesting. Look, the American League's certainly not as good as the National League on paper, but it's interesting that both you guys had the Yankees down. And I just don't trust the other teams. I thought the Yankees were questionable coming into the year, but still better than anybody else in the American League.
I don't trust the Orioles, though, either.
Yeah,
they
me
didn't
neither.
do enough to improve.
Also notable.
And if you get to October and DeGrom is healthy, hey, he could beat anybody.
Also, if DeGrom is healthy, it's a big if.
help.
Exactly. Also notable, no twins on either of your teams, your guys' top 6. All right, Britt, what do you have for us? What's your top 6?
I couldn't do the Twins either. On paper, they look like they're going to be in there, but they disappoint me every year. I mean, look, guys, I did the bold thing here, and I left the Yankees off totally because they've gone from one of the best rotations in the American League to one of the worst. And as you guys were saying, the American League, really, it's the JV of MLB. I mean, are any of these teams going to crack the top 6? Are any of these teams as good of any of the top 6 in the National League? It's not even close.